president was bold enough to represent the truth and suffer persecution to highlight the atrocity, the time has come for us adults and trade unionists to stand up and to demand our rights and freedoms, including a living wage through collective bargaining, as is long overdue. The union commits itself to work with the government of the day, provided that there is equal commitment to professionalism, trustworthiness, and respect for all our rights. Long live the Guyana Public Service Union. Long live the labor movement and workers internationally. Solidarity forever.
Let us get a round of applause. Stand up, man. Give him man. Good. I'm happy today, that I see the leader of the opposition from my walk from the beginning to the end. He arrived here, and he's listening. Mr. Leader of the opposition, can you stand up, please? Thank you. The message is being sent that when you return with your colors to that place that we consider to be Parliament, tell them that we stand with the opposition. We shall fight together to bring that requisite change. Thank you, Mr. Leader. Comrades, boy, I want to tell you something. Here what happened. This man who's going to be coming here now, he drives from Quarantine to Georgetown. And if possible, he will drive and go to Parica. And he will jump on the boat and he go to Essequibo Coast and he come back. And if he requires, he go to Region 1, Region 10, Region 7. Mr. President, we are proud of you. You did a damn good job. And you continue to do a good job. I want to tell you something. Put your hands together for the President of the Guyana Teachers Union, Dr. Marquez. I want to tell you something. I don't like to say the doctor, I like to say Brother Light or Comrade Light. Give me a hug there, Comrade Light. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Lincoln Lewis. Permit me to recognize some distinguished individuals in our midst. And I wish to start by recognizing former Prime Minister of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, former Mayor of Georgetown, Mr. Hamilton Green. I recognize him specifically too because he was present or out there in front of 21 Brick Dam, raising our voices, requesting that we be heard. I want to applaud you, sir, and recognize your contribution to Guyana. Guyana is better because of your contribution. Permit me also to recognize the leader of the opposition, Mr. Aubrey Norton. And we are a union that gives respect where it is due. I come here not with any political caps, but I'm here to speak the truth. Because I believe when you speak the truth shall set you free. I want to also recognize the members of Parliament in our midst who walked with us. Where are they? Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to big up our attorney, Mr. Darren Wade, and Senior Counsel, Mr. Royce Ford. They were there in the courtroom hammering it out. Against who? King's Counsel? Counsel King. They were there fighting the battle not only for the teachers of Guyana, but for all workers across Guyana. The outcome of the case is known abroad. I want to recognize also in our midst, honorary life member, Mr. Lancelot Baptiste, a household name when it comes to teacher representation. Mr. Lancelot Baptiste has served this union as president, general secretary, also as sports chair, and just recently as our field officer. Can we put our hands together for Mr. Lancelot Baptiste? I want to recognize the leadership, President Norris Witter from the GTUC, other executives of the GTUC, presidents and executives of affiliate members of trade unions that are here today. Special recognition to the executives of the Guyana Teachers Union, who, when many said we had no place taking the matter to court, they stood solidly behind the union's decision. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we gather on International Labor Day to celebrate and recognize the contribution of workers towards building infrastructure and providing essential services to our society. The many workers that are gathered here and those that are in their various regions must be applauded for staying the course. We are here basically because of a couple of things I want to highlight. One, that the struggle to basic rights and improve working conditions continues long after our founding fathers left these shores. That's one. Our struggle, as our brother alluded, from the time of slavery and indentureship seemed to be the same. I too watched the president's presentation. As a trade union leader, we have to look at everything. Anything that goes in social media or elsewhere is the business of the trade union leaders. And I heard nothing about engagement. I heard nothing about recognizing the unions. I heard nothing about the rights of workers. I heard what we give you. And that should never be accepted. This struggle is real. We need to recognize also that social inequality is a harsh reality that persists even today, especially among workers of different industries and countries, Guyana being no exception. We must let our voices be heard everywhere by all who wield their hand of power. Let us also know that pioneers of the trade union movement have empowered us to raise our voices, demanding that policymakers and politicians must respect the voices and the demands of the working class people. Let me also say today that we are celebrating Labor Day because we stand on the shoulder of individuals like Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow. Men and women who laid their lives down to represent the cause of workers in this country. So today, we must raise awareness among ourselves that the fight against injustice has not ended. The fight against injustice continues. And what is required is that every one of us must move against the atrocities that are set out against us, like the invitations you receive to create union busting must be debunked and refused. So today, the larger theme for Labor Day, as issued by the labor organization, is social justice and decent work for all. Social justice and decent work for all. But here in Guyana, the wise counsel and leadership of the GTUC has seen it fit for us to rally around the call for a share in the oil wealth. And so decent work and social justice is tied with a fair share of the wealth that is earned in this country. It belongs to all Guyanese. So in Guyana, we celebrate Labor Day 2024 under the theme Galvanizing and Mobilizing for Workers' Empowerment and Equal Share of the Oil Wealth. This theme, in essence, encapsulates the struggle and the demand for a fair and just society. Galvanizing and mobilizing for workers' empowerment and equal share of the oil wealth. As we sang that solidarity song, the last verse stood out for me. There have been untold millions that they never toiled to earn. But with our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Your presence today is an indication that we intend going forward, not only on Labor Day, but every day where there is social injustice, where there is the absence of decent work, where there is a failure of workers to mobilize, and an attempt to prevent us from getting a hand on the oil well, we have to take a stand. Will we take that stand? Will we take that stand? Amazingly, when workers in Guyana decide to take the stand, we are always reminded that your meager salary, your loan and mortgages, your car note payments, your children's education will be docked if you take a stand. But you have to understand the Guyana Teachers Union took that risk for 29 long days. 29 long days. I traveled the length and breadth of Guyana with my officers, encouraging members of the different branches to mobilize. Emerging out of those 29 days, constant threat to dock our salaries and to cripple the Guyana Teachers Union. Let us acknowledge the words of Nelson Mandela, and I quote, "To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." Some of us have to fight for others because they are too weak to fight for themselves. Some of us have to fight for others because they are too timid to fight for themselves. They are too tied up to fight for themselves. We must fight for all workers in Guyana because we are no longer shackled by the chains of oppression. We live, as we say, in a free land. We must act free. We must behave free. We must speak freely. And we must be able to move freely. This sentiment, brothers and sisters, rings true in our fight for empowerment of workers. It is not enough to seek our individual freedoms. We must strive for collective empowerment, where every worker has a voice and a contribution in shaping our future. The teachers of this country, the molders of the nation, as we pride ourselves, are now being sought after by a recruiting firm in the UK. And just as how they took away our nurses and our doctors, teachers with at least 2 years experience and as simple as a bachelor's degree will be leaving for the UK. And let's see if they will go to Bangladesh and Nepal. Let's see if they'll go to India and Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Teachers, we are not replaceable. Can I hear you this afternoon? We are not replaceable. We have our language. We have our experience. We have our special skill. And we must let them know that we cannot be replaced. Let me say this. When the union calls a strike and one teacher shows up to work, you are contributing to union busting. You are contributing to a failed effort of your union. Because you know what? When the benefits are doled out, every teacher, the striking or non-striking teacher, receives the increase and the benefits. We are not fighting for 4,500 teachers. This country has over 16,000 teachers. And so if you're talking about teachers' benefits, it must not be for 4,500. And I am really astonished at the compensation given to the doctors. I ain't working for them pay. I used to do part-time at the Cyril Potter College of Education. And I said, I am not working for $1,200 an hour with a master's degree. I left. Can't pay. When you work extra, there are laws governing this country as to how you must be paid. And that must be respected. We must remind ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, that the wealth of this country don't belong to a special select group. The wealth of this country belongs to every Guyanese. Why treat us as third and fourth class citizens? And in the song of my colleague said, why don't you sorry for we and talk to we? And it resonates with me that sometimes governments of the day believe that they have to be sorry for the workers. We deserve a just piece of the pie. We must remind ourselves of our immense contribution. The workers of the oil company, the oil sector, the teachers, the nurses, the doctors, the private sector workers, the transportation operators, the laborers, all public servants, each of us, we play a vital role in powering our economy. The other day, the boat operators operating the Supanam Perico route were on strike, and hundreds of commuters were left stranded. And why were they striking? Why they refused to work? Because they were asking for $200 more on the fare. I believe every sector worker plays an equally important role in shaping our economy. And so, in spite of our dedication and hard work, there are glaring inequalities that persist. This is unacceptable. Every worker, every employee of the state deserve dignity, safety, and a fair share of the wealth we help create. It belongs to us. Therefore, on this Labor Day, let us recommit ourselves to the cause of workers' empowerment. Let us galvanize our efforts to ensure that every worker has access to decent wages and salaries, health care, and social protection. Let us mobilize for stronger labor laws that protect workers' rights, and hold employers accountable for fair treatment. The Guyana Teachers Union, backed by the Guyana Trade Union Congress, has led the way by taking the unjust treatment of our members to court. You are aware of the ruling. For too long, we have allowed the employers, our government, present and past, to treat us like second and third class citizens. We deserve better. Our country is well positioned with adequate available resources to offer workers more than any other time in our history. Again, I say, our country is positioned with adequate resources more than any other time in our history to offer workers a better package. Yet we are told by the government there is no space in the budget to pay us a livable wage or salary. And I'm wondering whether the striking Gaisuku workers from the Kanji Rosal estate, if their matter was settled. I saw them for a few hours and we haven't seen them again. How many days did you see us for? These guys came out and they said, we're not voting. Then I'll go back there. And that's the last bit of word we heard from them. I believe if the matter was unsettled, they would have been outside again. So I can infer without the requisite evidence that something went on behind the scene. It looks very suspicious. We as educators on this side, we as the workers of this country on this side, we have to be mindful of the words of Judge Sandal Kisoon. The teachers ask for bread and you give them stone. These are the words of the judge. And I can let this resonate with all of us. The workers of this country ask for bread, and you give them stone. Biblically, the Bible says, which good father, his son is hungry and will offer him stone? You infer that when we raise our voices and we ask for a better package, whether anybody cares about us. I call on all trade unions in Guyana, all trade unions in Guyana, to demand a fair share of the pie for our members. This is not GTU fight. This is a fight for all workers of this country. Can I hear you this afternoon? When GTU down tools, the transportation operators must down tools. When GTU down tools, the clerks must down tools. When GTU down tools, the boat operators must down tools. Let us see how the wheels of this country will turn. I tell you, the time is now and not 2027. You didn't hear me? The time is now and not 2027. And last night I heard the goalposts moving 2025. We are waiting one day later than 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, in our pursuit of an equal share of the oil wealth, let us draw inspiration from the words of Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." The wealth generated from the oil industry must not be concentrated in the hands of a few. It must benefit the entire community, the country, especially those who are part of the labor force. And to achieve vision, let's take it as a vision now. To achieve this vision, we must work together. Tell somebody, work together. Hold somebody's hand and tell them, we're working together from now. Hello, give them a big shake. We working together. This is the vision. This is how we go forward, not in fragments. We go forward as one people, one nation, for one destiny. I ain't done yet. This vision we must work together. Workers, unions, government, and civil society organizations, the church, the mosque, the temple, everywhere. Everybody must hold a hand and say, look, this is affecting our lives. Our children don't go to school. You have to find babysitter. More pressure. More pressure. May I say to you, we must engage in dialogue, advocacy, and collective bargaining to bring about meaningful change. We must hold ourselves and others accountable to the principles of fairness, equity, and solidarity. The Guyana Teachers Union has led the way. Who are the persons with us? I have signaled we are ready. Since the judge made his ruling, nothing has happened. We ready like Freddy. In closing, let us remember the journey towards workers' empowerment. An equal share of the oil wealth is not easy. The journey to have a share of the oil wealth The journey towards workers' empowerment is not going to be an easy one. They're going to take out your pictures. They're going to take out your homes. They're going to come to your workplace to find out if you are on strike. Who cares? And there's a word I want to use it, but it's not good for public forum. Who cares? It's not profanity, but I don't think it's fitting for this gathering too. It requires, if we are to mobilize and work together, perseverance, unity, and unwavering commitment. Perseverance, unity, and unwavering commitment. I am confident that with our collective efforts, we can create a future where every worker strives and enjoy the fruits of their labor. Historically, Guyanese workers have always had to force the hand of our employer, government. It is not different. It is no different in 2024. I believe we have it in us. You don't think so? I believe we have it in us to move their hands. I believe if we could move one hand in the present government, I believe if we could move one hand in the present government, you call name, let somebody else blow whistle. I believe we must stand together, and we must stand now. I believe after this May Day, the membership of all unions must demand that the union take decisive action. We have gotten that mandate from GTU. Have you gotten that mandate from your members? GTU is ready to lead the way again. The leadership is ready. And so are our members. In the words of the great boxing ring announcer, Michael Buffer, the fighters are ready. The referee is ready. The scorers are ready. Let's get ready to rumble! Long live the GTU. Long live the teachers. Long live the trade union movement in Guyana. Solidarity forever. God bless you.
What happened to the days when we used to come together and used to live as one? When love used to flow through every girl and woman and every boy and man. Now there's so much war and crime and destruction over through this land. But all the youths them come to turn that around. There we go sudden. Everybody start the fuss and the fighting. But this is the time to unite.
Comrades. You know this was a good fight. President, heavyweight, not light. Great job. I am moved. We have to get on the road. We got to do that. I want to tell you, President, let me tell you what, again. I'm proud of the leadership that you deliver here. I always remember, I remember the involvement of the Guyana Trade Union Congress in this issue. I remember my president, Norris Witter, talking to me about the state of affairs and where the government is going. After the fifth conversation, I received a call from a man named Basil Williams. He said, look, Lincoln, this thing need some more muscles. He said, I got to fight this thing. He started going for the trade union. I talked back with my president. Waiter said to me, I tell you, we got to find somebody. I said, waiter, we can get money. He said, we got to find somebody going to do this work. He said, even if we got to pay them, even if we got to owe them. So we start calling people, and I called Ford. I went Ford, went and talked to Ford. Ford said, I'm going to do it. I said, how much we going to cost? He said, this is about the cars. It's about the cars. I called back President Light. I said, President Light, he said, who is the attorney? I said, Ford. He said, let me go. Immediately he said to me, he said, let me go. He said, we got to fight. Right? I am proud of that leadership. I'm proud about what you do. Well, we had Darren there. Young lion. Going. Darren come say 2 words to be comrades. Come on. Give a round of applause, man. Give him, he got far away. He is the future.
Thank you. Comrades, solidarity forever. Today, if there were any doubt in relation to your rights under our Constitution, in particular, your right to freedom of association, and what that right entails, it is clear, it is unambiguous. And the call by Dr. Light, by Comrade Light, moments ago, the court has paved the way for you. The court has paved the way for you to enter the streets. The court has paved the way for you to shut down this country. Because, and justifiably so, because over the years, you have been engaging with the government, pleading and begging them to come to the table, and they have refused. And the withdrawal of service is what we're going to bring them to the table. Because, the wheel is going to turn if you're not working. So, GTU has led the way, and it's for you to follow. And I must congratulate you for being here today. You being here today has sent a message to Carmichael Street and to the persons who reside there that you are not hungry bellies. That is a strong message. And as we continue, comrades, unity is important. In unity, there is strength. And it is the only way that we will succeed. Say no to division. Our personal wants, our personal goal must not be to the detriment of the collective. Historically, we have succeeded through the collective. Starting from emancipation, even during the day when we were enslaved, it's by the coming together and working together we are able to sit here today. And I want to draw you to the last part of our anthem, Solidarity, or battle song, Solidarity Forever. It says, in our hands is placed a power greater than the ardent gold, greater than the might of the army, magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring birth a new world. We can bring birth a new Guyana from the ashes of the old. For the union make us strong. Solidarity forever.
Comrades, give him a round of applause. Yeah. We're going for after this thing here. Let me tell you something. Let me make this point very clear. Those guys down there in Jamaica Street, the neighbors down there, one walking and one living, we're signaling to them. We shall challenge them in the courts. We shall challenge them in the streets. They believe it's everything they're going to impose on us. They set up what we call a constitutional reform commission. And then they say that the labor movement has a representative. And I asked all the affiliates of the TUC together with the PSU, did you receive invitation for a nominee? And they said no. So they decide who will represent labor. Well, let me tell you something. I have news for them. Yesterday, we have concluded the exercise of the signing of the affidavit. And the filing will take place should have taken place yesterday to tomorrow. We carrying them to court. We're carrying them to court. And let me tell you when we finish with that. You see the co-op laws that they decide that the co-ops that get lands, they ascribe to themselves the authority and they're controlling the co-op and then taking the lands and distribute among their friends. We got to stop. That's the next one. So when we finish there, we come in not only in court, but we go in with Norton and all of them in the National Assembly. They will have to take the bill. We got to reform the co-op laws. We have to, this belongs to us. The change has to come. Mr. Norton, we're giving you a big task. Let me, Rajdale, the people say that what you're saying, the people giving a different opinion outside here about what the law, what the judge ruled. Right? They say, let me tell you what they say. They say that the job rule that a group of workers today get what we call frustrated about something, they can go off the work and they got to be paid. I was in there when the judge delivered his 4 hours judgment. I didn't hear that. But I'll tell you this. Why I didn't hear it, because Jack Dew will tell a lie here. And he will tell a lie to cover up the lie. And he tell a lie again to cover up the lie. And he'll tell a lie again. I'm talking about Jack Dew lies all the time. Or when you come for a short moment and tell me, correct this thing for us here. Give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to the leader of the opposition, to the former Prime Minister. Today is Labor Day, and today is an important day in the life of people, particularly after the decision that was delivered by Justice Kissoon. It was a landmark decision. When we check where we are today, where we were last year, Labor Day, we have made a serious progress in vindicating our rights and standing up for our rights. But I want you to remember, as a lawyer, as a citizen, as a Guyanese, that rights are only defended when people stand up. Otherwise, they remain on the paper, waiting to be brought alive. And I must congratulate the leadership of the GTU and the GTUC in defending not just labor rights, in defending the rights of all the Guyanese people. And freedom is something that spreads like wildfire. I know from the union's point of view, and I know Darren and myself as lawyers, we would have received calls from lawyers from the Caribbean, from Africa, trying to understand what it is that was achieved for labor by labor. We were only conduits. We were only conduits and we provided our skill, our expertise to advance the cause. But what Marajati is saying is complete nonsense. Total nonsense. Darren and I laid this case out on the basis of the 1980 Constitution, on the basis of the vision of Forbes Burnham. When he set up a constitution, he recognized that the unions and labor play an important role in the society. They're not to be locked out. And what has been happening over the years under the leadership, under the governance of Barjagyo and the PPP is to lock out labor as a critical element in our society. So we advance the case based on the Constitution and based on the concept of social justice. And I remember, Darren would remind you all and those present, I kept asking the court the same question every day, about 3 to 4 times a day. Judge, what is to happen in these circumstances where the government unilaterally imposes wages, refuses to engage with the unions, refuses to engage in collective bargaining, the institutions to resolve labor disputes, the Ministry of Labor and the Ministry of Education and the Minister of Labor have failed to discharge their duties. You remember that? And I asked the court what is to happen. And we advanced a case of social justice. We asked the court to adopt as the law in Guyana that in those circumstances, the union and the workers have a constitutional right to strike, as set out in the Constitution, Articles 147, 2, and 3, and we asked the court to determine the nature and extent of this constitutional right, and that is what Justice Kisun did in an admirable way. So he decided that in circumstances where the government is being oppressive, they're acting unilaterally, imposing wages conditions, rejecting collective bargaining, and you can establish that the union has acted responsibly by seeking to go through the processes of conciliation, arbitration, that the union and the workers have a right to strike. And because of the government's conduct, it's failing to act in accordance with law, the workers are entitled to strike, and no deductions must be made from their salaries. This is major. This is major, comrades. Labor, this is major. Because what would have happened by this decision, we would have been able to break free from the clutches of the government. The court, as Darren pointed out, would have released all the obstacles in your way to ensure that you have better wages and conditions. The only person, thing, or institution stopping you from moving from where you are right now to ensuring that you receive the wages and conditions that you deserve is yourself. I want you to understand that the victory in the court will continue. The battle will continue. We will go all the way to the CCJ, but you must not rest. You must not rest on your laurels. This is an ongoing battle. You must play an active part in it. I've told the president of the Teachers Union, I've told the GTU people, take your people on the streets. Take your people on the streets. I will be presumptuous enough to say that the leader of the opposition is supporting, and he has indicated publicly that he's supporting the labor movement. So we are standing, labor is standing strong, the leaders are ready, you got to be ready. This is a battle, it's never going to stop. Keep going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, comrades and brothers and sisters, I want to tell you this. We ain't got plenty food. We ain't got plenty drinks. Because we ain't got access to the state coffers. I understand that the president of the country, the man who holds the office of the president of the country, invites something like about 2,000 persons to State House today to eat, wine, and dine on our money. Right? Our money. The leader of the opposition and a number of opposition MP, they don't get money because they don't get access to state funds. But I want to tell you something, and I know if I get access to state funds, I don't go do what they're doing. Right? Well, let me tell you what. We're going to fight them. My comrade, Norris, we fight long, you know. We fighting long and we talking, you know what I mean? And let me tell you something. And you got to fight. Why I tell you got to fight? If we still there fighting, you who come in, don't be afraid to fight. We can fight. Let me tell you what, Ami was minister, prime minister. We disagree, but we continue to talk. Right? That's how we behave. We have to meet to that level of maturity where we can talk. And I tell you something, we disagree. That time was General Secretary of the Backside Union. And he called me. I said, we get a conference. We want a donation. We gonna donate, you know. But when we don't, we got to come at the conference, we just cost you right at the conference. You remember those times, Ami? We cost you right at the conference. We take the money because it's people money. Right? And we cost you right there. But you ain't stop there. We're going to talk next day. These days they believe that the country is the personal property and we are the subjects. We ought not to say anything. I want to tell you, my brother, my most comfortable moment in the movement. I want to introduce to you now my brother, President of the Guyana Trade Union Congress, Norris Whitty.
Thank you, Comrade Chairman. All protocols have been established, observed. Well, I am coming after 2 lawyers, 2 doctors, therefore I must be the patient. Somebody said that some years ago. You know, sometimes we beat up too much on ourselves when we do not do so well. But then when occasions present itself for us to congratulate ourselves, we fail to do so. Today is one such day when we deserve to congratulate ourselves. The teachers and their unions and all of us. It was the president of the teachers union that said that it is good to speak the truth, for the truth shall set you free. But I would like to add to that. Truth telling can be dangerous. It takes courage to speak the truth. But if we are to survive as decent people, we must muster that courage and speak that truth. I am going to speak some unpleasant truth here today. You know, May Day is the only day in the calendar that is dedicated to workers. And we need to, whether we are politicians, whoever we be, respect that day. It was trade unionists who have brought us where we are today. From Critchlow to Bornham to the Jagons to Polydor, you name them. We must not disrespect this day. We have seen where Ali, and I heard Lincoln speaking to the question of challenging these matters in court. We must challenge his fourth degree too. We must challenge that. Because I'm not too sure it's a legal degree. It has been done already. Okay. Yes, we have witnessed and observed where on previous May days, you were inviting trade unions to breakfast. We have read where today he is inviting trade unions to lunch. Those are contemptuous acts against this movement. But let me come home now. I have witnessed this morning a very, very distressing situation. Very distressing. It was a former leader who said, sometimes we hurt ourselves through self-inflicted wounds. What occurred this morning should not have occurred. I would like to dedicate this May Day to the indomitable will of the teachers, particularly the female. What has been demonstrated over the 29 days of struggle is that the workers united can never be defeated. The workers united can never be defeated. Let me hear you. The workers united. The workers united. The workers united. Let me now say this. I believe that the opposition united will not be defeated. I believe that the opposition united will not be defeated. It is for you to make that decision. For you to do it. And if you fail to make that decision, we will make it for you. Right? Because our survival is dependent on what happens next year. And we are not prepared to leave our future to the devices of anybody. The labor movement has led the way, and we are prepared to continue leading if we must. Let me say something to you. We are all happy about that victory, that court victory. All happy. And we have every right to be so. Every right to be so. The lawyer said landmark victory, historical victory, massive victory. But let me add by saying this. That victory will be meaningless if, as one said, we sit on our laurels. If we become complacent, we must understand who we are dealing with. We must understand the creature. Let me say this to you. That blow that was delivered by Judge Kisoon, very severe blow, you know, straight to the solar plex. No knockout. They're done, but not out. They are done, but not out. It is important now that we put them out. We must now put them out. We are dealing with a devious, deceptive, and dangerous creature. Dangerous creature. You know, some years ago, you remember, you know this person, Dr. Roger Luncheon. He was a medical doctor. I know that we are taught to say when you mention the name of the dead, you say, God bless the dead. Even though Luncheon and those in Carmichael Street do not believe in a God. You know what he said? He said, and a medical doctor can correct me, he said, dangerous diseases require dangerous medicine. Jagdio and Ali are dangerous diseases, and therefore they require dangerous medicine. And we must treat them with dangerous medicine. Not for them to survive. Not for them to survive, but for us to survive. You know, I will not rehash what has been said before. A lot has been said as it relates to the excessives and the transgression of the state. Too numerous to mention. But we can continue to win. It was the GS who said earlier. But if we are to win, because we must recognize that it was not the GTU or any union that provoked that peaceful situation. It was the government. And in provoking that situation, their intention was to emasculate in the first instance and to crush the GTU. Were they to succeed, they would have moved to the other unions. They would have moved to the other unions, right? But you know something? God is good. I'll tell you something. God, you mentioned God. My grandmother told me that bat cocky ears at the top so he can piss on God and end up pissing himself. You understand? It is their wickedness that has come back to haunt them. Wickedness. We must not retreat. We must not surrender. No retreat. No retreat. No retreat. We must be ever vigilant. We must be ever vigilant. And what we need to do is start planning to the new phase of this battle. You know, what the judgment by Justice Kisun has done, it has presented to us a win. We have won that battle. Or you can win the battle, you can win a battle, but lose the war. We have to ensure, we are hearing about appeal court and the CCJ. We will have to fight all those battles. And we will have to ensure that we win the last and decisive battle. Right? Then we would have won the war. Look, let me tell you, as I said earlier, we are dealing with a dangerous creature. A creature that has been floored from a severe blow, but is not out. You know the story? A wounded tiger is a dangerous beast. The tiger is wounded. The tiger is wounded. We must ensure that that tiger does not recover. Does not recover. We have been here a long time. And I would not like you to become bored of me. I think I have said enough. I just wish to close by saying this. If we are to win this war, it requires of us a very high degree of discipline. It requires cooperation. It requires collaboration. In unity, there is strength. In unity, there is strength. And we must organize. And as KW Denny would have said, we must organize in every nook and cranny. This is a battle to be won. This is a battle that must be won. Because if this battle is not won, all of us are done. All of us are done. Comrades, are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? I close by wishing you well and plead with you, because the battle line has been drawn, not by us, they have drawn it. We must now be prepared to engage them in battle. That we look, and wherever it is, for our battle garment and be battle ready. We are not going to telegraph what we intend to do in the near future, but we have to continuously be strategizing, right, and working out our tactics in dealing with this situation. A luta continua. A luta continua. The struggle continues. Long live the Guyana Trades Union Congress. Long live the workers of Guyana. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Thank you so much.
Comrades, we got you here a long time. Give him a round of applause. Come on, I look at your heart, man. Come on. We have to fight on. I believe I used to see a long program, but let me tell you something. Where's Ian Andrews? Ian Andrews? What does he come fast? Don't let that thing throw you down, you know, because you're coming from a good height. I want you to say thank you to everybody here today, man. And then we move on. This time, I want to suggest that when we finish, those who got to repair to the Union Hall, it's not far distance. We can start to walk up the Wolford Avenue or walk down Camp Street. Because leave us at the GTU. We're like people like me who want to dance and things inside it.
Thank you, Mr. General Secretary. Comrades.
My apologies. Somebody left a phone somewhere. This phone. Somebody left this phone somewhere. Okay. I ain't gonna talk what the phone is. If somebody lost a phone, you can come to the office of the GTU and collect this phone.
Yes, comrades. Allow me to stand on the protocols already established. My purpose here is a very simple one. That is to deliver a vote of thanks to you people. And I'd like to start with an elder statement. Somebody who's very close to my heart. Honorable Hamilton Bilal Green, former Prime Minister, longest serving mayor in the city of Dorchester, former mayor, elderly statesman. What I do know, I like this man. What he depicts here is longevity, commitment, and loyalty to the cause or whatever he believes in. So, Comrade Green, I'd like to thank you very much for being here with us. And I know that as long as you have breath in your life, you will be at every rally. You are such a soldier. Thank you, sir. The leader of the opposition, all the members of the PNC General Council, and members of Parliament. I'd like to thank you people for being here with us. Thank you very much. We're spending a good day, and I know you will always be around. Now, the mayor of Georgetown, the mentor, and the deputy mayor, I know she's somewhere around, Denise, and councillors representing the Partnership for National Unity, because I know that the other councillors will not be here. So thank you for being here with us. The President and General Secretary of the victorious teachers union. I say victorious because otherwise to win in that battle, you set a precedent that many other unions feel strong enough to take the course you would have taken because they know there's an avenue for justice. And it's in the courts. There may be times when we may need to divert from that when people get stubborn and hit the streets. But I say to you, you've been there and you know what it is about. Thank you very much, Teachers Union, for your sterling performance and for having us here today. And I'd like to thank you for the ambience you have created here. It is well accepted. Officers and members of the Guyana Trade Union Congress, I'd like to say thank you for being here. Our General Secretary was being very visible, as well as the President. So officers and members of the Trade Union Council, thank you for being here. Also, officers and members of the Guyana Public Service Union, you have your battles. There are a lot of things that you may have to do or probably even go to courses the Teachers Union would have gone. And we look forward to that. So I say to you, thank you for being here. Former ministers of the government, I don't know how many of you were here, but I thought I saw Minister Brooms. So thank you for being here. There are some invisible persons that, do the kind of work behind the scene that has made this activity and most of what have transpired here today possible. Those people need to be recognized, and I say to them, we thank you. Those that put up the tents, look after food, pack the chairs, and all the small things. Thank you very much. To all the representatives and speakers from the various regions, I didn't hear them come up, but I see they would have been on the program, and I know that they're here. Not forgetting the person that we love to hate. And those persons are the media. Why I say we love to hate them is because when they write nice or say nice things about us, we love them. And when they say things that we perceive as things that we do not like, we tend to hate them. But they're very important to us because without them, there's no us. They get the message through. Now, I'd like to identify a set of workers here. They're informal sector workers. They're their own bosses, but they are faced with major challenges now. And those persons are vendors. It's the Market Vendors Union. Can the Market Vendors Union persons please stand up? Market Vendors Union persons please stand. Those persons, self-employed, they feed us. They feed a lot of people. There would have been a lot of persons who are very recalcitrant and out of order, but they would not have been so if they were not allowed, which means that there may be some set of people who are causing this to happen. But they are facing challenges right now. And if you notice, it is very systematic, and it probably is meant to create something else. Because if you start displacing all these type of workers, you're creating something that we may not be able to handle. And I hope that is not so orchestrated that if the response that may happen is exactly what the government needs so they could call off the election. So I am saying that those persons responsible for managing those vendors, which is the Georgetown City Council, especially the APNU councillors, you better come up with something fast. You have to take care of those persons because you're not just there to enforce 2801. When you would have been voted there, there is a certain political element that you have to address. And I trust that you will address it quickly. So thank you for being here, market vendors. So if there is any person here who I would have failed to mention, it's not that I find you less important. So I say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mr. Siram, you all right? Thank you. Yes, sir. General Secretary. So my job here is finished, and I'm saying thanks, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes.
All right, comrades, we have now come to an end. Those who have to return to their unions, you can do so. And thanks very much to the GTU for what they have done.